Imagine waking up one morning feeling that familiar stiffness in your hands, that slight heaviness in your legs, and you just chalk it up to another year on the calendar. You tell yourself it's just part of getting older. But what if I told you that for millions of people over 60, that feeling isn't just aging, it's actually a warning sign from your circulatory system, and most doctors are completely missing it. In fact, a recent study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association revealed that nearly 70% of adults over the age of 60 have some form of reduced blood flow. And the scary part is, many of them don't even know it until it's too late. But here's the good news that your doctor might not have told you. There is a specific morning ritual, a simple drink that you can make right in your kitchen that has been shown in clinical settings to dramatically improve circulation, lower blood pressure, and even reduce that morning stiffness. And before you click away thinking this is some exotic berry from the Amazon, let me stop you right there. This isn't about rare ingredients you've never heard of. It's about something so common, so accessible, that you probably have it in your pantry right now. The difference is, you've been using it all wrong. Let's talk about what actually happens to your blood vessels as we age. Think of your arteries like a garden hose that has been sitting out in the sun for 60 years. It gets brittle, it gets stiff, and sometimes it gets clogged with mineral buildup and plaque. This is what doctors call endothelial dysfunction, which is just a fancy way of saying the inner lining of your blood vessels isn't flexible anymore. And when that lining is stiff, your blood has to push harder to get through, which spikes your blood pressure and starves your extremities of oxygen and nutrients. That's why your feet get cold at night. That's why your hands fall asleep when you're watching TV. That's why you feel dizzy when you stand up too fast. But here is where the science gets really interesting. Researchers have found that there is a window of opportunity every single morning, right when you wake up, where your blood is at its thickest and most sluggish. After hours of sleep, you are mildly dehydrated, and your blood vessels are naturally constricted. How you break that morning fast, what you introduce to your body in those first few minutes, can either set the stage for healthy circulation all day long, or it can add more stress to an already struggling system. So, what is this mystery drink? It's actually a very specific combination of two things. The first is beetroot powder, or better yet, fresh beet juice. Now, I know what you're thinking. Beets? Really? But hear me out. Beets are one of the most powerful vasodilators on the planet because they are loaded with dietary nitrates. When you consume these nitrates, your body converts them into nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is the magic molecule that signals your blood vessels to relax and widen. It's like taking a kink out of that garden hose. The pressure drops instantly, and the water flows freely. In fact, a study from the University of Exeter found that drinking beet juice increased blood flow to the brain in older adults, essentially reversing the aging effect on their vascular system by decades. But here's the catch. Most people buy beet juice from the store that is pasteurized and loaded with sugar, which completely destroys the beneficial nitrates. You need it raw, or you need a high-quality powder that preserves those active compounds. And that's only half the equation. The second ingredient is what really catches most people off guard. It's a pinch of cayenne pepper. Now, before you say you can't handle the heat, let me explain why this is non-negotiable. Cayenne contains a compound called capsaicin, which is famous for kicking your metabolism into high gear. But what they don't tell you is that capsaicin is also a potent stimulator of blood flow. It works by triggering the release of substance P, a neuropeptide that helps reduce inflammation in the blood vessels. Chronic inflammation is the #1 enemy of circulation. It's what causes the plaque to become unstable and rupture. By adding just a tiny amount of cayenne to your morning beet drink, you are essentially delivering a 1-2 punch. You are widening the pipes and putting out the fire at the same time. There was a fascinating study done at the Chinese University of Hong Kong that showed capsaicin can actually lower the risk of coronary artery disease by improving the function of the endothelium. But again, the timing matters. Drinking this on an empty stomach, first thing in the morning, allows your body to absorb these compounds rapidly without interference from other foods. Now, you might be wondering about the taste. I'll be honest with you, straight beet juice with cayenne is an acquired taste. It's earthy, it's slightly spicy, and it's definitely not your morning orange juice. But if you blend it with a little lemon juice and a small piece of ginger, not only does it become delicious, but you also add another layer of benefit. Ginger is a natural anti-inflammatory that helps break down fibrin, a protein that can make your blood thick and sticky. This combination, if taken consistently for about 3 to 4 weeks, has been reported by patients to significantly reduce the numbness in their fingers and toes. Some people even notice that the varicose veins in their legs look less bulging and feel less painful. Why? Because you are reducing the pressure inside the veins. You are helping the one-way valves in your legs do their job by keeping the blood moving instead of pooling. But here is the crucial piece of advice that most content creators won't tell you because it's not flashy. You cannot outdrink a bad lifestyle. If you start your morning with this circulation-boosting elixir, but then you sit in a chair for 6 hours straight without moving, you are fighting an uphill battle. The human body, especially after 60, was designed for motion. Your muscles are actually your secondary heart. Every time you contract a muscle, especially in your calves, you squeeze the veins and push blood back up toward your chest. If you are sedentary, that pump mechanism shuts down. So, while you sip this drink, do yourself a favor. March in place for 2 minutes. Stretch your ankles. Roll your shoulders. Get that fluid moving. The drink opens the highways, but your muscles have to drive the cars. Another thing to consider is your hydration baseline. I mentioned earlier that your blood is thick in the morning. This drink is potent, but it works best when you are properly hydrated. Before you even prepare this beet and cayenne mixture, you should drink a full glass of room temperature water with a squeeze of lemon. This rehydrates your body and thins your blood plasma slightly, making it easier for the nitrates to do their work. Think of it like priming a pump. If you try to run a pump dry, you'll damage it. If you send potent nutrients into a dehydrated body, you won't get the full effect. This simple step of prehydrating can double the efficacy of the circulation drink. Now let's look at the long-term picture. Why does this matter so much? Because poor circulation is the gateway to so many chronic diseases. It's not just about cold feet, it's about cognitive decline. Your brain needs a constant supply of oxygenated blood to function. When circulation drops, your memory suffers. It's about your heart health. When the vessels are constricted, your heart has to work harder, leading to hypertrophy or thickening of the heart muscle, which is a precursor to heart failure. It's about your mobility. Peripheral artery disease, or PAD, affects millions of seniors, causing leg pain when walking, and many just accept it as a normal part of aging. But it's not normal. It's a sign that the plumbing is clogged. By taking this proactive step every morning, you are giving your body a fighting chance to maintain that vital flow. I want to share a quick story from a colleague of mine, a cardiologist in Ohio. He had a patient, a 74-year-old retired teacher, who was struggling with such poor circulation in her legs that she could barely walk to her mailbox. She was on medication, but the side effects were brutal. She decided to try this natural approach alongside her regular treatment, not as a replacement, but as a support. She started with the beet and cayenne drink every morning, and she added a short 10-minute walk after breakfast. 3 months later, she walked into his office and told him she had walked a mile at the local park without stopping. Her blood pressure, which had been stubbornly high for years, had dropped into a normal range. Her A1C, a measure of blood sugar, had improved. The doctor told me that he couldn't explain it entirely by the medication alone. The lifestyle change, the morning drink, it had unlocked something. And that is the real secret here. It's about consistency. It's about giving your body the raw materials it needs to repair itself. Your body wants to be healthy. It has an incredible innate ability to heal, but it needs the right tools. The standard American diet is full of processed foods that create inflammation and destroy the endothelium. By swapping your morning pastry or that sugary coffee creamer for this targeted drink, you are shifting your body into repair mode. You are telling your genes to express health instead of disease. This is what we call epigenetics. You have control over how your genes behave based on what you eat, drink, and do. You are not just a victim of your genetics. I'd love to hear from you now. Have you noticed changes in your circulation as you've gotten older? Do you struggle with cold hands or feet? Or maybe that annoying swelling in your ankles? Or maybe you've tried something like this before and you have your own twist on it. Drop a comment down below and let me know. Share this video with a friend or family member who you think needs to hear this message. Sometimes the smallest change in your morning routine can add years of quality movement to your life. Don't wait for the diagnosis to scare you into action. Start today. Your heart, your brain, and your legs will thank you for decades to come.